Here is an Optimus 6-inch stylish personal fan, model F-0621. This is a product of the, I would say, the early to mid 2000s, somewhere in that range. We'll see if there's a date sticker on there somewhere in a moment. This was originally purchased, I believe, by my grandfather, and he wanted to take it to work and use it at work, but I guess it ended up being too loud or something, and so it came back home, and naturally I took it and then I used it. And after I was using it for a while, I wasn't going over there as much anymore, and then he started to use it in the bedroom. He would use it in the window, and he used it until the bearing started to lock up, and then he gave it to me again, and I fixed it, and then I used it again for a little while, and then I haven't used it in several years. I remember this fan pretty vividly though, using it when I was over their house. I used to use it in my bedroom over there for a while at my computer table. And I remember seeing these on the market for quite some time. Several years after this one was purchased, I recall seeing at that VSC store, or whatever the heck it was, the same store that had the Duracraft window table fans. I remember seeing at that store a box. It was like a blister package of two of these, but they were white. I forget what the branding on them was, but I kind of wanted those. I never did get them. Anyways, so let's open this up here and see what we have. Here is the instructions manual. This logo looks odd to me. They must have changed it in more recent times. Information's hotline. If, after reading this owner's guide, you have any questions or comments, please feel free to write us or call us at that number. Our customer service representative will be happy to help you. They only have a singular customer service representative. Manual is pretty small. I don't think that there's any English in there, but I'll set this up here and you can pause the video and read this. You should be able to see that. I don't see any date on here. Came with a 12-month warranty, and you had to send 4 beans in there with it for the refund. I mean, for the warranty service. Plus you had to pay for return shipping, so what a joke. No one's ever going to bother with that. And they do that intentionally. They design the warranty so that it's too much of a waste of time and money. It probably costs more to ship this thing than it would to just buy a new one. What a joke. I guess this is the bag it would have come in. It gets kind of interesting to see plastic bags from like 2 decades ago or so, because they're so much thicker than the ones made today. Alright, so here's the fan itself. Wow, it's stylish. I don't know if I understand that, but it's a 2-speed model. It's kind of beat up. You know, it was used for quite a few years, although it's pretty durable. I remember one time when my grandfather was getting the fans out of the attic, which of course was a major event for me for the summer. This one fell out of the attic, you know, on the cylinder is 8 feet, so it fell and it hit the floor from 8 feet up, and it was perfectly fine. So it's definitely made of a pretty tough plastic. I don't know if the plastic is still as strong as it once was, but at some point it was not bad. As I did all the other fans at their house, I labeled it. Just got a cheap little C-frame sheeted pole motor in there. to not use in a window, although we all used it in the window. Let's see, here's the date code. 2003. So it probably was purchased in the summer of 2004. There's the informations. 0.26 amps. So it's not, power draw isn't too bad. You can't adjust the height at all. It is whatever it is. I don't know, I still kind of like it to this day. It's a neat little fan. Let's get this thing plugged up and then we'll on it. Right now we're looking at 118.7 the volts, a little bit lower than usual. We'll go to amps because that's what the information's tag is in. And we'll start it up on the low. The balance is really not too bad. It's not perfect, but it's not that far out of whack. And you know what? The airflow is not bad either. It's a little bit noisy for my preference. There's certainly much quieter desk fans out there, like the Lasco 2002W, for example. But the airflow on this is pretty good. And it carries pretty far too. And all the way back here, several feet away, it's still very easily felt. Yeah, I'm about 6 feet away from it now, and I can still feel the breeze pretty significantly. So it's not bad. It's got a decent amount of power to it. All right, let's go to high, which you can't turn it on high or go back to off without holding it in place. And the balance is not too bad. No, it's not perfect, but compared to some other fans I've used, it's not bad. And it's kind of noisy on high, but it's moving a decent amount of air. On the other side of the room, I can still feel it. It's not like a hurricane, but it's a noticeable draft that'll make you feel more comfortable. It's definitely a bit on the loud side though. On high, it's pulling 0.21 amps, 15 the watts, and it's got a power factor of 0.6. Which is a little bit low for a shaded pole. Now that the furnace has stopped burning, you can hear just how loud it is. It's not super loud, but for a 6-inch fan, it's quite noisy. And if this is sitting in front of you on your desk and you're trying to talk on the phone or something, I would be distracted by this much noise. It's quite audible. And it's not much better on low. On low, it's 0.16 amps, 12 the watts, a power factor of 0.61. And off. Bearings seem to be pretty good. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this one. One last note I'll make, which I always thought was kind of interesting, is that the blade is a very shiny material. Meanwhile, the rest of the fan is quite dull. So, that's it for this one. Over and out.